your body today. Begin to settle into your breath. Take note, how's the body feeling today? Are you holding any tension? Maybe in the shoulders, maybe the jaw. If the eyes are closed, check in. Are you softening through the lids? Are you clenching the eyes shut? Perhaps turning inward to find your quiet space in your mind. Or perhaps just noticing thought today, but practicing non-attachment to your thoughts. Allow the legs to relax. Maybe the breath begins to deepen, finding a fuller inhalation and a more complete exhalation. As you exhale, allow the chin to lower to the chest, finding length through the spine. And I forgot to say, if you're lying back, slowly begin to rise. And a meeting with the chin tucked into the chest, allowing gravity to draw the neck long. And begin to roll the chin from shoulder to shoulder. So you'll look up over one shoulder, roll the chin across the collarbones, over the other shoulder. This can be fast or slow. Keeping the jaw soft as you do this. Avoid holding the breath. Now when you're over to a shoulder, lift the chin to the ceiling and go up and over to shoulder, up and over to shoulder. Up and over, back and forth at your pace. One more time each side, then bringing your head back to your neutral position. Take a moment to roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Moving with breath. One more time, and then allow the shoulders to melt down the back, finding a little more length through the spine. As you inhale, arms float up. As you exhale, lead with the heart as you fold forward. Hands will touch down when you need support. Stay rooted into the sit bones, finding length through the spine. Walk the hands to the left side, twist and fold. And the breath focuses into the right side of the body. Mindfully walk to the opposite side. bringing the hands to center. As you find your center position, root down into the sit bones, pull the belly up and in and hover the hands. So using your core here. Begin to rise using the core. Float the arms up till you find length in both sides of the body. And then the left hand comes down as you hinge to the left side, focusing the breath in the right side. Switch sides. Floating both arms up, lengthen again through the sides of the body. Twist using your core, twist to the left, then hands float down to deepen the twist. You can hold on to your front leg, keeping shoulders square and shoulders melting down the back. Good. Float your arms up, we'll switch sides. Find the twist first with your core, then float the arms down to deepen the twist. Relax your legs. Arms float up. As you exhale, mindfully clear the sky. Intertwine your fingers back behind. So first part, you work on squeezing your shoulder blades together and lengthen through the spine. Next part, you work on straightening out the arms. And then final, you can lift if you'd like. And stopping at any one of those positions. See if you can relax the legs again. Lengthen up through the spine, seated on the sit bones. As you exhale, release. Take note of your lead leg and open your legs to a V position. As wide as you're comfortable. You can change your position so you're this way on your mat if you'd like. Sitting up tall, you're going to lead with your heart. Leading with the heart, just walk your hands forward, pressing into the heels slightly, externally rotating the leg bones. And pause when you find your compassionate edge. Tune back into your breath. Check in with the heart. Make sure the heart is extending forward. Now walk over to the left side, twist and fold. The goal here is to not force your right hip down. Don't force it down, but let it be heavy so that one day it will go down to the ground. And of course, if it's easy for you to keep both sit bones down, perfect. And mindfully walk to the right. Soften your jaw again. And if the eyes are closed, just be mindful to have very soft lids. Coming back to center position. Extend out through the heart again. Engage the core, and you might engage the legs as well. Arms float up, using the core and legs unhinged. Good. Side bend. Left hand will come down to leg or foot, and the right hand over the top. Stretching into the right side of the body. The breath goes over to the right side. Switch. Both arms float up. Engage core, twist to the left. Then the hands float down, hold on to the thigh. Staying upright, On both sit bones. There you go. Yep. Switch sides. Float up. Engage core. And then add hands as you soften into the pose. Float the arms up. Staying upright on the sit bones, clear the sky. Intertwine your fingers back behind. And then work on squeezing shoulders. Then straightening arms and then lifting knuckles. As you exhale, release. Bring the legs straight down. Sit up nice and tall. Arms float up, press into the heels. Lead with your heart, hinge forward. Hands touch down as you need support. Keeping square through heels and hips, so pressure equal on both sides. Walk your hands to the left and just extend out into a twist with a fold. So you're still folding forward, rooting down through your right sit bone. Mindfully walk to the other side. So you'll root down through the left sit bone. Walk the hands center. Engage the core, extend arms forward, root down and rise. Good. At the top, clear the sky, intertwine fingers, and work on squeezing shoulders, then straightening arms and or lifting knuckles. Find length through the spine, balancing there on the sit bones as you sit. As you exhale, release. Good, and recross with your opposite leg as your lead leg. Take a moment to get all settled in, and then maybe you close the eyes again, or just find your drishti point out in front of you. Let the shoulder blades relax, let the jaw release, the furrow in your brow softens, and tuning into your breath. Notice the spaces between the fingers and toes. See if you can relax all the way into those spaces. Begin to add rotation, big or small, moving with breath, and it can be a full breath on a full rotation, or split that up. Again, it can be very big, getting more of a stretch with each move, or you can build up to that, or you can just kind of rock from sit bone to sit bone in that circular motion. One more time around, and then switch direction. Last rotation here. Begin to slow down, finding stillness. Noticing any energy you've created, or just any different feeling. On your inhalation, arms rise, bringing the palms to Anjali Mudra. pausing here in prayer pose at heart center. Feel free, if you'd like, to set an intention for your practice, a positive and present statement. And it can be for practice, it can be for the rest of the day, or coming back to something you started earlier today. As your intention comes to you, breathe it in with each inhalation, and just know that it is true. If you're not quite feeling whatever it is today that you're setting, if you're not quite feeling relaxed, know that by setting this statement, you will be relaxed, or you are relaxed. On your inhalation, arms float up. As you exhale, hinge forward, leading with the heart. Hands touch down as you need support, finding length through the spine. Relax into the legs, root into the sit bones. Walking over to the right side, twist and fold. You line up with the angle of your thigh and knee, twisting at the waist. Switch sides. Center. Drawing the belly in as you find center. Root into the sit bones, hover the hands, and rise. Lengthening sides of the body. Your right hand comes down as you move to the right side for side bend. Lengthen through left side, breathing into left side. Cartwheel and switch. Both arms float up. Twist, find the twist first, then the hands float down, sorry, to the right. Good. Lengthen, using your front hand as support to help deepen the twist as you relax the legs. Floating up and switching sides. Float the arms up. This time at the top, intertwine your fingers, roll palms up. Bring your hands to heart center. I'm going to turn to the side. Try not to press out into low back. Press back heart, or the back of the heart back is what I'm trying to say. Let the chin come into the chest. Arms float up as you stack the spine, and clear the sky at the top, opening the legs to your V position. Arms float up this time, we'll lead with the heart. Hinge forward to find your compassionate edge. Whenever you need that support, hands touch down, and maybe then you spider walk out a little bit deeper. Excellent. Walk hands to the right, twist and fold. Not forcing the left hip down, but relax into that left hip. Mindful, walk over to the opposite side. Relax into your right hip. bring the hands to center. Rooting down through the sit bones and the heels, draw the core in, hover the arms, and use core as you unhinge. Good. Side bend to the right side. Right hand down. Working on stacking your shoulders. So make sure your raised arm doesn't fall in front of the face. You want to roll that arm back. Cartwheel over and switch sides. Float both arms up. In an upright twist, you'll turn to the right, float the hands down. Arms float up, switch sides. Arms float up, come to center and intertwine fingers, roll palms. Bring hands to heart center as you press out through the back, right in between the shoulder blades, back of the heart back, and chin tucks to the chest. Float the arms up, stack spine, clear the sky. So you'll bring your legs straight down from the hips. Adding stretch and strength this time. So arms float up, press into the heels, and lead with the heart as you find your forward fold. Bend knees as needed to free up hips and hamstrings. Engage core, hover arms, float up. Twist to the right. Now you're gonna dive down to the right side. Stay seated on both sit bones, pressing into both heels. Engage core, hover arms, and float up. Turn to opposite side and dive down. Engage core, hover arms, float up. Good. Intertwine fingers, bring hands to heart center. Back rounds, upper back rather. Tuck chin. Deep full breath right there in the center of the back. As you inhale, stack. And as you exhale, clear the sky. Good. Come around onto all fours. As you find tabletop position, when you're ready, move through cow and cat as it feels good to you. Maybe you'd like to hold each pose for a breath or two, or with breath, just roll back and forth through cow-cat. Maybe you'd like it to be a little more interpretive, shift hips to side, or hips to the heels, or bend the elbows. Make circles. One more breath cycle. On your next inhale, find neutral. So I'm going to show you seated. We'll be on all fours in tabletop, and you want to do scapular push-ups. So arms stay straight, and you just kind of shrug those shoulders back and then press away. So you're here, the chest comes down, but the elbows stay straight, and then press the chest away. If you'd like to make this a little more challenging, You can always come forward and be in knee plank or plank, so you have a little bit more weight. Oh, I can't do that with my shoulder, so I'm not going to demonstrate the next one, but you get the idea. Now the next time you're pressing the chest away from the mat, pause there. Make sure that the spine is not rounded. Be in your neutral spine. If you've gone into plank pose, any version, come back to tabletop and find this nice strong tabletop position. You have the option to bring the knees together if that helps more with balance, and you can experiment as we go along. The goal here is to tuck the belly in, bringing rib cage toward one another, not literally, but just the idea, and then the rib cage to the back and the rib cage from back to the front. So just shrink wrapping everything in. Option, right leg only. Add on left arm if you'd like, and then focus on the core. Pressing front body away from the mat. You want to root equally into front hand and back leg. Excellent. Make sure the heel is not too high. You want the heel directly out from your hip socket. Lower down, switch, option, leg only, or add on arm. Now take a look at your hand. You want the thumb up, extending outward through the fingers. Engage core. Switch. As you switch, when you bring the knee and hand down, you're looking to find that same placement where you started. Switch. Switch, and we'll do one more set, one more on each side. Switch. Check in with your core. Releasing into embryo pose, child's pose, or a combo of the two. The combo of the two is you have your wide legs like child's pose, but the arms are back behind. If you're in child's pose and something's bothering your knees, keep the hips lifted, but make sure your head has support, either on a block, the hands, or the arms. As you inhale, begin to rise, and we'll transition into either knee plank or plank. Good. From your plank position or knee plank, lift folding in half for downward facing dog. Press into your toes and foot pads equally. Lengthen through the backs of the legs by tilting the tailbone and sit bones upward. Pull the belly up and in. Front of the rib cage pulling back. Arms begin to hug the sides or hug toward the sides of the ears. Pressing into the thumb and pointer finger side of the hands just a little teeny bit more. Right leg option. So we're going to step your right leg through. Feel free to come down on the mat, lift that leg and step through. Feel free to lift the leg, tuck, step. Maybe it doesn't make it all the way through. That's okay. You lower down and you adjust. So just eventually get into high runner's lunge. In high runner's lunge, find a long body from heel to crown of the head, extending your heart forward. Keeping that length, especially through the upper body, move into warrior one. I like to hop my foot in just a little bit and adjust to 45 degrees. Now here, your heels should be kind of lined up in the same line. From there, you hover the arms, engage and lift. Your front thigh, very active. Your left glutes active, lengthening through the left side of the leg. If shoulders are bothering you, go wide, but look for long arms, or maybe prayer pose today, or even goalpost arms. Front of the rib cage, pulling back and lifting, so there's lots of space in the belly. As you come out of the pose, you still want to have that length in your torso, so you pivot on your back foot as you dive down, reaching forward, hands plant down on either side, kind of lined up with your toes. Moving into warrior two, adjust your back foot 90 degrees, keep that length. Now you're pressing down into the feet, drawing the feet toward one another so you activate inner thighs. Left hand draws the body upward. You feel very active in your right thigh, very active in the right glute, and long in the left side. With the head, it might feel most comfortable just to look forward from the chest, but if your neck allows, gaze over the front fingers. Soft shoulders, but strong arms. Front of the ribs, pull back in. Excellent. Cartwheel down, back hand swings forward as you pivot on your back foot. Stay long through the torso. Soften your back knee and step to the front of the mat. I'm going to turn so you can see me. Hang in forward fold. Root down through the toes, balls of the feet straight down through the heel. Flat back. Pull front of the ribs back in. Forward fold. Reverse swan dive, float up, bringing the palms, prayer pose to heart center. Root down into the left foot. So take a moment, close the eyes, feel the big toe touch down all the way to the little toe and all through the other toes. Same pressure on both sides of the ball of the foot and straight down through the heel. Peel the right, peel the right foot up, opening up into Vrksasana, tree pose. Maybe it's low tree and you use your big toe for support. Maybe you come up to the ankle, pressing leg and foot together. You want to zip up the inner thighs. Maybe you go somewhere in between from high on the inner thigh to that low toe support. If your whole foot is touching your leg, really activate inner thighs by pressing leg and foot together, and you'll notice as you do that, it just lengthens your body. Find your drishti point, and if you find you're very wobbly today, come back to your foot, your standing foot. Spread and root. Drawing your arch up. So core is starting at the bottom foot arch, drawing all the way upward. Feel free to adjust hands. Maybe you'd like to challenge yourself and move your hands, seeing if you can maintain balance. Maybe you'd like to just grow branches. And then the final add-on is close your eyes. Yeah. Excellent. And we'll meet in Tadasana, so hands float down, stepping your ankle underneath your hip socket, lengthen up as you root down now through both feet, and notice the difference between your feet now. One feels a little bit more active, one feels a little relaxed. Both arms float up. As you dive down, lead with the heart. Hanging forward fold. Bend knees as needed. Right foot steps back, downward facing dog. So plant those hands down as many steps as you'd like. As you find down dog, readjust, spread fingers, activate arms, pull ribs in, belly in, lengthen backs of the legs. Eventually, this pose, downward facing dog, becomes a resting pose. And it's okay if it's not a resting pose today. We're building strength for it to be a resting pose. Same options with the left side. Stepping your left foot through. You can lift. You can step one big step or several steps. And we'll meet in high runner's lunge, working on a very long body from heel to crown of the head and outward from each of those points. Can be on finger pads, on knuckles, flat on palms, and same version up on blocks. Keeping your torso long, adjust back foot 45 degrees, root down, lift arms, and float up. Feet are pressing down and out. Active quads, active glute on right side, all the way down to your foot. Find length through the sides of the body as you pull front of the ribs back in. Soften your jaw. Let's see what else I can add. Breathe. Breathe. That's right. Don't forget to breathe. So once you do find the pose and you find all of the correct positions, then you work on finding ease in the pose instead of going, oh my gosh, I've got so much to do. And you find those spots and then go, okay, I can do this. I've got this. Pivot on your back foot, dive down. Keep long through the torso. Ooh, beautiful, nice, good. Back foot 90 degrees. Now you're drawing the energy inward to activate inner thighs. Right hand lifts the body up and over. Soften the tops of the shoulders, but lengthen and strengthen through the arms. Front knee is bent so that your quad is still active, perhaps burning by now. Back leg is long. Front of the ribs pulled back in. It's easy to want to do that in this pose. You gotta stack. Yeah. Woo, here we go. Cartwheel down, backhand swings around, pivot, length through the torso. Step to the top of the mat for forward fold. Notice the left quad now starting to relax. Root down through the feet, spread the toes. Ardha Uttanasana, flat back position, upside down L. Front of the ribs, pull in. By keeping your back neutral. So when you pull the front of the ribs in, you don't want to round through the back. Fold forward. Reverse swan dive, coming into prayer pose, standing, Samastiti. Bringing awareness to your right foot. Let those roots grow down from the toes, ball of the foot, and straight down through the heel. As you're ready, left foot lifts for Vriksasana, tree pose. Doesn't have to look the same as the other side. Maybe this is your stronger balanced side, so you're going up higher. And as you find your pose and take a few moments feeling very strong in your balance, then you go to your next step. So is that moving the arms, moving the foot upward a little bit, closing the eyes. slowly stepping into Tadasana, finding stillness. Notice the feet. Arms float up on your inhale, leading with the heart as you dive down. Exhale. The left foot is your lead foot, stepping into downward facing dog. As many steps as you'd like. Spread fingers, activate arms, ribs, belly, lengthen backs of the legs. And shifting down into knee plank or full plank. Or maybe a moment of both, holding full plank until you have had enough. Make sure in either pose the hips are not sinking or the hips are not lifted too high. Activate your corset. Child's pose, embryo pose, or whatever resting pose you would like. Take a moment as needed to wiggle the fingers, rotate the wrists, or stretch out the arms in any way that feels good. If you're in child's pose, you can bring the hands back behind you, over the head, maybe in prayer pose, or just reaching the fingers to the shoulders. Experiment, see what your body needs, see what feels good. Lots of times I just like to stack my hands and rest my forehead on my hands. Feels good. And then I can breathe a little bit better. Good, using a block, whatever makes your pose feel just a little bit better. Allow the jaw to soften. Tune into your breath. We'll do that sequence one more time. We just won't hold as long. Begin to find your way to knee plank or full plank. This is a good indication of where your feet and your hands should be for your down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Folding in half to find downward facing dog, activate arms, lengthen backs of the legs, pull ribs back in. Your right foot will step forward, however you'd like to get that right foot. If you're practicing your step through, round into cat as you pull the knee up and through. I like to lift my hand a little bit, give me some more room. Lengthen, keeping that length, adjust back foot 45, float up. Good, pull the ribs in. Pivot. Keep long through the spine, dive down. Nice. 90 degrees, warrior two, activate inner thighs, draw feet inward, rise. Take a moment to make sure that you're right in the center of your sit bones and not too far forward or too far back. Also check your knee, make sure it's not falling forward or too far back. Right on top of your ankle. Cartwheel, lower down, long spine. Once the hands touch down, soften, step to the top of the mat, forward fold. Root into both feet. Ardha Uttanasana, flat back, pull ribs in. Uttanasana, fold forward. Reverse swan dive, Samastiti at the top, prayer pose at heart center. Vriksasana, right leg lifts for tree pose. Tadasana. Float the arms up. As you dive down, lead with the heart. Nice. Bend knees as needed. Right foot steps back, downward facing dog. Activate arms, lengthen hamstrings, activate core. Left leg stepping through, finding your version of your step through today. As you find high runner's lunge, lengthen through the spine. Adjust back foot 45 degrees, root down, rise, pressing the feet down and outward. Check your front knee, make sure it's bent, and knee is directly on top of your ankle. Pivot, dive down, long spine, press back through your heel, your back heel. That will help balance you. 90 degrees, press feet down and inward, activating inner thighs, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Good. Make sure you're centered, right in the center of your sit bones. Check your front knee. Good. Pivot, swing your back arm around. Once the hands touch down, step to the top of the mat, forward fold. Flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Uttanasana, forward fold. Samastiti, river swan dive up, bringing the palms, prayer pose at heart center. Right, no, left. Left foot lifts, tree pose. Find your drishti point. And make sure your drishti point is not another person who is moving. Edge of your mat, different color in the floor. Tadasana, beautiful. Good. Arms float up. As you dive down, lead out with the heart. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Hands touch down and bend knees as needed. Left foot steps back, downward facing dog. Lower to the knee. As you come to the knees, just swing the legs around and find the sit bones. Good. Make sure there's plenty of room back behind you. Lower down onto the back, and we'll come into reclined pigeon, so your right leg is on top, and then you tuck the legs into the chest. When you're down here in this position, you want to be able to relax the shoulders and neck and head. So if you're having to lift to get this pose, and you have a blanket, grab your blanket, put it underneath shoulders, back, head, wherever you need it, and that will help support so you can deepen this pose. Bring awareness to the back of the hips. You want the back of the hips rooted down onto the floor. Your top leg, that's your right leg, you're pressing that leg back away from the body, even though you're pulling the opposite leg in. You're creating some resistance and keeping your hips square by doing that. If you let the leg fall in, your hips twist and your hips curl. Think heavy through the tailbone, pressing outward with the sit bones. Jaw soft, relax the shoulders. There's different ways to hold on. You can hold on solely to the left leg, or wrapping the hands around the thigh or the shin. I like to do a combo One hand on the left and then the other on the right, pushing outward. I rest my hand on the shin or my forearm on shin and thigh. Keeping your legs tucked into your chest. Begin to roll toward the left side until your right foot, that's your top foot, touches down. So just begin to roll over. You want your left thigh, the bottom thigh, to touch down. Now you kind of feel it twisted and maybe a little bit uncomfortable. See if you can shift your shoulders until they're square. So I scoot my left shoulder over a little bit more and square off shoulders. Your right foot, the top leg, you can just have the toes down. You can have the full foot down, or maybe you rest the foot on your leg. Bringing awareness to your left hand. Use your left hand to gently press the top knee away from the body. Nothing forceful, just a little gentle pressure. Now, focusing on your right shoulder, is it lifted? If it is lifted, you might be able to twist at the waist a little bit more and square off shoulders. But if it's staying lifted, that's okay. Just keep your arm close to your body as you rest your right arm. If both shoulders are down, you can go wider away from the body, maybe all the way out into that half T position or goalpost position. Now that you have the pose, relax your back. Relax the back of the hips. As we move on in this twist, your shoulder might change, so you may have to adjust your arm. Your left hand now comes over the top of that raised knee. Begin to lower the knee down. You shift your foot into a comfortable position. You notice now the hips stack a little bit more. So maybe that means your shoulder lifts a little bit more, and in that case, adjust your arm. Slowly coming out of the pose, you release the hands, bring the feet around. And you might have to adjust the hips by lifting the hips and squaring off your body again. Take a moment and just relax. So we'll do that same sequence, opposite side. And left foot, left ankle comes to the right knee. Reclined pigeon pose. So keep the back of the hips down. You're lengthening through the sit bones as you draw the legs inward. Top leg, you're pressing out. And then the right leg, you're pulling in. Shoulders relaxed, jaw softened. Focus on your breath. Keep this tucked in position as we go into twist. Begin rolling to your right side. And your left foot, maybe the whole foot touches down, maybe just the toes. Bringing awareness to your shoulders. Do you need to shimmy the shoulders over or twist at the waist a little bit more? Your right hand hand closest to the legs presses gently into raised knee, pressing back or pressing away from the body. Bringing awareness to left shoulder again. Is the shoulder lifted? Does the arm need to be closer to the body? Do you need to make any adjustments? Until you find that compassionate edge, and once you find the compassionate edge, relax the back and deepen the breath. Relax the back of the hips as well. Good. Your right hand now comes over the top thigh, lowering the knee down. Adjust your foot. Begin to stack the hips a little bit more. If the left shoulder has lifted, just adjust the arm closer to the body. Take a moment and notice, are you holding on to any tension? Can you relax and soften into the pose a little bit? Just a couple more breaths. And begin to come out of the pose mindfully, rolling back onto your back. Take a moment to adjust the hips to find square and stack. Find stillness for a moment. And then after that stillness, just a couple of breaths. Maybe you'd like to go into Happy Baby, or any other pose that feels good, or maybe you'd like to start Shavasana. Taking as long as you'd like with your extra pose. From here, whenever you are ready, begin to adjust into Shavasana. Perhaps bringing awareness to the breath, taking a few more intentional, expansive breaths. And as you do that, notice the points on the body that touch down on a surface. When you are ready, releasing the breath on an exhalation, releasing control of the breath and melting into those points. Perhaps you find the quiet spot in your mind, letting go, relaxing, finding stillness in mind and body. Perhaps you practice non-attachment to your thinking mind. Or perhaps you'd like to picture beautiful white light, gold light, pink light, green light, whatever kind of light emanating down on you, healing you, nurturing you, reviving you. Or you send that light to someone, picturing them with the light, or a group of people, or a place. Or perhaps the light covers the whole globe. Bring awareness into your breath. Perhaps adding a sigh as you exhale. And with that sigh, or just with your exhalation, releasing anything that is not serving you today, or has never served you. The fear, the doubt, let it all go. When you are ready, use your breath to help move the body. Perhaps you just shift onto the side, fetal position. Perhaps you wiggle fingers and toes, or move into a stretch. Take your time. Slowly begin to rise to seated. Uniting our breath, inhale, arms float up, meeting at Anjali Mudra, heart center. And just a reminder, as we close practice, we share the greeting of Namaste. The short version is, Namaste means, I recognize your soul. I recognize the true you. Thank you for being here and trusting me to guide you. Namaste.
Namaste.
lovely to have a full class, and it's lovely to have you guys with us on streaming. You guys can unmute